Hello, good evening. Good evening. Welcome. My name is Obinda. Welcome. We're in a season where those who went through the BC exam, you know, being sent to the senior high. During our time, they call it senior secondary schools, SSS. They say it's SHS. and Parents are very much occupied. They are thinking of the future of their children, very much engaged, concerned, and it's all about hoping or hoping that the children will not be poor. The children will become at least successful, relevant citizens in the society, and we want them to become, all the things that they wanted us to become: doctors, lawyers, engineers, all kind of things. And hopefully, we think that if you send them to a good school, say if you send them to a Bukhari school, Chibota school, those kind of schools, those who are sending their children there, their assertion is that their children at least will become the leaders in society. And some of them, they will change the courses for them. They will fight. They will do all kind of things. Or in the curiosity, it is curiosity that the children will become, responsible citizens. Fast forward 30 years. Now this is what 2018. So if you add 30 to it, maybe 2048, 30 years down the line, when those children who are now 15 get to be 45, 50, 60, you will look back and from the little observation that I have, yes, majority of them, the very bottom, the bottom line, those who are at the least in any society, the 10, 20% in our community which struggle with what to eat, where to sleep, what to wear. I think that the basic education, the senior secondary school education, the university education may be able to reduce that. I think that it can reduce that. Beyond that, so it ends. So if you're thinking that your child will become a doctor, will become very successful, they will need more than that. It is very good. It's good as a parent to at least think of your child and think of what they are going to become in the future. But there's this social script. So beyond the social script, what it takes in the long term to live your dream, to live your freedom financially and purposefully. Because for me, I think there's no freedom when you are not living with these two. There's financial freedom and there's the freedom to live the life that you think you were born to live purposefully. And the choices that are being made for us now, the choices that are being made for the children who are being rushed to secondary school, uh, I don't think purpose is really part of it. And maybe financially they may link it, but it will take more for these children to live like that. Of course, in our society, if you happen to become a politician and you don't have values, you'll get rich quick. And there are other things that people can get where they just get money, but they did not work for it. They did not work for it. They had ways and means. Those who created wealth with the knowledge, with the skill, with the discipline, with the hard work, with the honesty over 30 years, those are the people who can build something and live for the next generation. And usually these things have very much little to do with the kind of profession that you had, the kind of secondary school that you went to, the kind of political position that you had. And all those things that they are confusing us and pushing us, you know, because they have told us a lot of things. They told us, and I think what they call the middle class, what they call, I don't know if you have any, has not helped us because a lot of the people that we have produced, they think like that. They think this is the cause. They think this job. They think this. They don't think about ownership. They don't think about productivity. They don't think about expansion and growth, taking in charge, dominating. They don't think like that. They think of playing not to be scored. They are not on the offensive. So their children that they are pushing to all these positions, they are trying to position them. So the guy becomes a minister, he positions his child to become a CEO of some public institution. Another one does that. That's all that they all do. Because they don't bring up these children to live with the intention of building their skill, the expertise, the network, the leverage to live a life at their free will, in terms of finances and in terms of living the life that they believe they are living. Because the fact that you put that child to become an engineer does not mean that he was really born to become one. It does not even mean that child, when he's 40 years, will be living the life that he feels is that much fulfilling. Most people are just living the social script. The social script is the course that your father chose for you. So after that course, you found a job in that. And then they force you to marry. And then along the line, that's it. You gave birth. And then you also took care of the children. That's all. Most people in this kind of definition, this kind of category of life, really live frustrated, depressed life. Because no profession satisfies. No. I've met friends who are all kind of professions. And there are the others who are living the life that they believe they are creating. And that usually is not those courses that you are sending your children to do. Send them there. It's okay because we're not sure. But there is more that you have to teach these children. If they are going to live life on their terms, to live financially free and to live purposefully. Because there's nothing that comes close to living a life that you feel like this is the life that you really wanted to live. This is the life that you created. And if you're able to solve the money problem to a certain level, that life is joyous, it's enjoyable. And majority of the people may never taste that. Why? Or may never taste that, because of the social script. Because when they are choosing these things for us, they are not thinking of the long term. They're just thinking of the competition. My sister's son is doing science from Prempeh College. My son or my daughter must go and do same science at another secondary school. Why? Because I'm comparing. I'm not looking at this child. What is it that they want to become? And based on what information are they choosing that? What gift, what natural gift do they have? Am I giving them those kind of input? Or just go and do this? And you're choosing that based on the jobs that they think it will be there. Most of these courses, I remember my sister did, those days, typing in some of those schools in Kumasi. And when she was doing them, they were still using typing. Now, who is using typing? So some of the courses that you are even very much interested, and you want your child to do, by the time the 30 years time, some of those courses may even not be there. Yeah, may not even be there. Typewriter, she was using typewriter. And they were teaching them. And so, but if you teach the children to think ahead in the future, what they can become, the relevance that they can become to the society. If you teach them to think of ownership, not just coming to look for help every time. like the way they are conditioning them. So, oh, I want you to become an engineer, civil engineer, so that when you finish, you get a job. Not necessarily, because those in the long term may not solve these two issues that I'm talking about, the financial and the purpose, because that's where the freedom is. Anybody that you see living the life that they really want, the ambitions, they have solved these two issues. They have solved the financial problem and they have solved living life purposefully. At least they know something that they're doing, and they feel it inside that this is what I really think I was born to do, to make a contribution to humanity, to society, to our country. And so when they're choosing those courses for them, these two usually are not there, because no course, just as I said, the 10% of the society, maybe the secondary school will help us to move a lot of them from abject critical poverty. But to have the freedom financially, go and ask, and I know yourself, the teachers, the engineers, the doctors, the police officers, the military officers, all these people, majority of them, if they are honest and they are living on their salary, none of them has been able to solve, or almost all of them have not been able to solve the financial freedom. Because the financial freedom has nothing to do with the secondary school you went to. It's very little to do with the university you went to. It has that much little to do with the course, even the job. It takes a lot to live life above the social script. Because the social script, 95% of us are living the social script. And that's why there's constant pressure. There's not much that people can live out of that freedom. And so the finances are weakened, they are crippled, and then the purpose is not even there, because most of them have no sense of purpose at all. They just job. So he became an engineer. He doesn't know why he became an engineer. He became an accountant. He has no clue why he became an accountant. The father chose costing at the secondary school for him, so he became an accountant. But those who live life to make a mark live with that sense of purpose. And that's what I think you should put in these children. It's not just you are in haste trying to find secondary school for them. I remember at the time that I was looking for school, my father everywhere. When he was choosing those schools, there was no sense of purpose. I'm not sure he knew that. He just thought that his child, if he was able to get into a good school and he was a good student, he may end up becoming something. But he never thought of the freedom in terms of finances and the freedom to live life with a sense of purpose, that inner peace. He never thought of that. He just thought that if you had secondary school education, the rest go and find yourself. So that's what we are trying to do for these children. And when they get these schools, when they get these courses, they will feel that they are better than their mates who didn't get this. Maybe the acute level of poverty, maybe they are better. But to get into the freedom, to live life with that sense of purpose, and to be able to solve the money issues, nobody. Not with this kind of education and this kind of training and this kind of culture that is able to solve that. And so teach them, at least. Let them find those schools, no problem, but teach them about the sense of freedom that comes when they study the money, because it's important. They must have proper financial knowledge. And then they must choose the courses or live the life that they so much feel that this is what I was born to do. Is critical, because being those fantastic professions that society praises, they have no clue or no link to the joy, to the peace, to the rest that people who have found their reason of living have. So they can push you through, and which, for here, for me in our country, we were sent through. We were sent through. And when you are not taught this sense of purpose, you live a selfish life, because you don't even know that there's more life beyond just having a job or becoming that profession. There's more life. And when you are not taught about these finances too, you think The only way you can make this kind of finances, like the way the other guys are doing, is for you to get into some government position and try to amass some things for yourself because you're not taught. But if we were given proper information about finances, about money, about purpose, about freedom of living life according to your choice, about living to make a contribution to the development of your country, of your community, if you were taught at that level, by the time that we get to the university, or by the time that you get, out of the university, you're living life with full energy, with that sense of clarity of purpose. Why? Because somebody would have told you. But if you are not taught, then you will just live the social script, and that's what their parents are living. That's what their grandparents maybe lived. And that's what they will happen to live, and that does not give anybody advantage over another. So if I completed university, I would think that my friend who didn't go to university are better. Fast forward 20 years, 30 years, there's not much difference. There's not much difference. Go and look for the people who are in retirement, all kind of professions. Interview them, talk to them, ask questions. They will tell you. A lot of them go back to live after they've been sacked from the government bungalows. They go to live in poverty. They live in lack. And very few of them will ever have anything to live even for their children, because they live the social script. So it may seem like, when you get a good school, when you get a university, you have an advantage. If you don't teach these children the most important things of at least solving the money problem, we all have to solve it. You must have proper information to solve the poverty. The proper information not to go and steal the money, not to go and take advantage of the country's money, not go and become a politician so that you can get rich, because you cannot become a politician and be rich like that. Maybe there will be a little difference, but if you just beg like that, it means that you screw us. That you do when you're in a retirement, it may not stay that much. You may not even give it to your children, and if you give it to them, they'll lose it, because that which keeps the wealth in the family is not so much the wealth that is bequeathed to them, but the knowledge, the skill that whoever had it gave it to the next generation. And so if you stole it, or if you trick people to get it, or you dupe the country to get it, you cannot give it to your children, and definitely not your grandchildren. So in the long term, it doesn't not really make any difference who becomes successful. I think that you should teach those children to pursue financial freedom, and to pursue freedom that comes out of life that you live from that sense of purpose. Nothing comes close to that. Nothing comes close to that. So you teach those children. Don't just push them and raise their confidence and let them feel like they are, because sometimes when you meet these children and they are going to the secondary school, before, maybe I was happy like that, but the basic problem that is solving is that we'll be able to solve their acute poverty, which is unacceptable. That is okay, because if you're able to finish secondary school or university, at least there's a level of poverty that automatically, I think, may move you out of. But the freedom to control millions, wealth, ownership, proper skill development, and to live life to make contribution to society, not just to live, go and get degrees and chase job all your life. That kind of life, they will need better knowledge than what the society has given us. So teach them to think ahead, 20 years time, 30 years time, 40 years time. The difference between them and all their friends will not be so much the courses that they chose, will not be so much the secondary school that they went, but it will be so much of the things that they learn themselves beyond those. So they have to think at least of financial freedom. They have to think of good work ethics. They have to think of making contribution to the development of our country. They have to work with their skill. Those are the information that will separate those children from everybody. Because go and look for retirement people, I tell you, it's not good. It's not good at all. You can meet a top government official or top person who work with the ministry of something, 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 director. But when they are in their retirement, it's disastrous because they didn't pursue the financial freedom. They just thought that it will happen. And financial freedom does not just happen like that. It is orchestrated, it is intentional, and it is not stolen. You don't cheat your way into financial freedom. It will not be freedom. So it comes with different knowledge. And you all know, you and I know that if you are in the secondary school or you're in the university, nobody teaches you about finance. The only thing that they tell you, that they will tell you, or the only thing, at least by time they told us, is that if you get a good course and you pass your grade, you will finish school, you become successful. How? They didn't tell us. So most people believe that lie. When you're in the school and you are getting all the A, you are the first in the class, you grew that big hat, big head. You thought that you were very much intelligent, so you will succeed. It does not work like that. Life after the school, whether you are the last in the class or in the first in the class, even in the university, whether you're in the first in the class or last in the class, whether you completed with first class or you completed with no class, there's no difference when it comes to financial prosperity and living with that sense of purpose. There's no difference. There's no difference. The first class or the last class, because after all, the first class, maybe the best place that they will employ you is academia. You go and become a professor. And then don't tell me that a lot of professors are rich, they just live with a salary. Okay. But, and when if you say that, it's not everything, so why do they get happy when they increase the salary? You tell me, it doesn't matter, it's not about. Then why are they taking salary there? They should leave the salary. Why are they happy when they buy them new cars? Why are they happy when they build new blocks there? And what does it take to do these things? A lot of the professors, if they had money, they will go and create their own universities. That's a fact. Because of the frustration and the politics that they go through there, just to even get a raise. And so I will not just teach my son to just go and become a very good student, study, and leave the money side. Because without the money, there's so much you cannot do. And you'll be pushed around just like that. Because you fail to solve the first premise, which is the money problems. So the freedom, there's not much freedom without the economic freedom. There's not much freedom without the financial freedom. All right, so not just your son should become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, and you're very happy. I want that son to also learn. At least if I give him the basic interpretation, the basic understanding of what it takes to build this financial freedom, he will be able to find his way out, so that if he becomes a doctor or a lawyer or something, he will do it out of his passion because he has solved the money problem. So you have that sense of purpose. Most people don't have that sense of purpose because the first duty is not solved, which is the finance. It's not solved and they deny it. So by the time that they get to know that this is very much important, it is too late. It is too late. So they have to, even in their retirement, there's not much saved for that retirement. So he's around 60 years and he knows that he's only going to depend on SNET for retirement. That's not good. That's not the way you want to end your life. That's not the way out. And so I will teach my child that think of freedom. Think of ownership. Own your life. Think of building financial freedom. Think of living your life with that sense of purpose. It's critical. And if you get A or C, as a parent, if your child comes from the school and he's the last, you're not happy at all. You're not happy. You want to beat him. So you are playing too much. You're playing with the phone. You're playing with this. You want to discipline. Too much TV. Too much this. Yes, maybe. You must have discipline. You must have self-discipline. You must have, self-control. But the fact that the boy is first in class or last in class, 30 years down the line, if that boy is disciplined, if he has some level of ethics, he'll be fine. Because what he really, the attention that he needs is to be able to pursue that financial freedom and have that sense of purpose. So the education that he's getting is to equip him to live life, to make a contribution to society. So it could be anything. It could become But you don't have to become that profession because you have to work for salary. And that's what most people do. They get the courses they do. You can meet somebody, he's always doing ACC something, ACCA. He wants to become a chartered accountant because his social script is that when he becomes a chartered something something, he will get better salary. You're like, so can you go and look at those guys who have become chartered something something something? How many of them are millionaires? Can you ask yourself those questions? Because if you're not in the millions, you don't have that financial freedom. This is the reality, at least. And if you don't think of ownership, if you don't think of taking risk, financial risk, or taking some business risk, or taking some entrepreneurship risk, you will live just like the 95% of the world. They live their life hemmed in, controlled. They feel like they are tired, and people get exhausted with that kind of lifestyle. Why? Because they didn't help them to live beyond the social script. So most people live like that. They live within the social script. There's no way they're going to live beyond it. Why? Because the parents did not probably understand it and they did not teach them. So they are rushing them like that. Rushing them like that. One of the ways that you can live beyond the social script is build a business. I am biased. Build a business. Build something. Start something with what you know. Build a business. Build a company. Build a business. When you become an entrepreneur, you live beyond all this class that they describe people, middle class and all that. There's no class for the entrepreneur. Why? Because your growth is unpredictable. Your success can be explosive if you go through the things well. And nothing like living to building your dream. That's what the freedom is. Nothing like that. Where you know that this dream can affect people, change destinies, and can also bring economic value to you and to the family and to the society. There's nothing like that. And so when your child is going through that, tell them, if you want to become a doctor, yes, become that doctor. Be thinking of building a hospital. You want to become an engineer? Yes, become an engineer, but be thinking of building an engineering firm. You want to become an agricultural something, yes. But when you come out, start to build a farm for yourself. Build a poultry farm, build a processing plant. You want to become a mining engineer? No problem. But when you finish, build a mining company. That's what I want to see. Because from there, you will see that they have financial freedom and they have that sense of purpose, because there's nothing like that. Or they will live the social script all their life. They will come out, finish this national service and be waiting for a job. And if they don't have it, frustrated. They get a job too, they're complaining every day about time, about small salary, all their lives. And they never live beyond what they call the rat race, because they're always comparing themselves. And nobody becomes financially free just with the salary and with this level of information that they have given us. So beyond the social script, don't just train these children, push them. Go to Achimota school, go to Fasipim, go to Prempeh College, go to Pukuare, go to this, Roses, St. Roses, secondary school, all those great schools. And when your child is there, you feel like you have done big work. Maybe just the very poor, yes, they will overcome that. I agree. But to live their dreams and to live that financial freedom, those will not be enough. Not at all. Not at all. They will need more information. They will need to live beyond the social script that they gave us. And my recommendation is that for you to live the social script, and for you to live beyond the social script, start a business. That's the only way you live beyond the financial difficulties. Start a business and equip them so much that they become so much strong, vision oriented. They develop their character. They have an idea and they want to build something around it. All around the world, if you look at any group of people who are easily able to turn any idea into a business, employ people, get money, get hands, build it. Those are the people who are controlling. They live life on their terms. They're not used to salary. No, they don't care, and they don't beg. Those kind of people. Why do they think like that? Even in Ghana, look at the Lebanese people. When we are rushing to go to train all of their children, where they are they? They are at the shop working, and they control the millions. And when we finish school, we are going to look for job, from those areas, and they decide what to do us. Why? Because we're giving the wrong social script. The wrong social script. That's why the few people who try to jump will start to get into politics or things like that, and you know they go there too, and they start to cheat their way. And nobody cheats their way into financial freedom. Nobody cheats their way into purpose. Nobody, because you must have the values that go with it. And when you look at them in their retirement, then you see that what I'm saying is true. Because to have freedom, you will live life, and when you're old, you will not be poor. Most people, when they are going on retirement, poor. Look at them, it's not good. They regret. When you talk to them, like, I wasted my time here, wasted my time here. No, it's because you only live within the social script. Because if you took that job with that sense of purpose, and you knew that I had the responsibilities on me to solve that finance problem, I'm not going to leave it for the government. I'm not going to leave it for the job. No, I have to solve this myself. And one of the things I recommend is that start something with it. Take charge of that, because that time will come. You'll be 50, you'll be 60, you'll be 70. You look back, you have nothing. And you don't even have much to give to your children. You don't have that much to give to you, because you live within the social script. And so it doesn't matter where school that they are sending these children or which courses that they are sending. You can even send them into America. They don't matter. After 30 years, those who will be able to control these things, live peacefully with themselves, and live financially free, are those who are equipped with the right knowledge. Okay, and I think that you teach that child that if you have an idea, start to think of how to build around it, create economic value around that child. So when he's going through the school, he's not so much happy to become a doctor, because that's what I saw. The people who were doing medicine when we were in school, not that much. But after 20, 30 years, no. Those who are able to do something with that medicine are people who thought beyond that. Or they will be going for a strike. They go for strike a lot. They're always looking for salary increase. Because you don't live financially free just because you became a doctor. You don't live financially free just because you became a lawyer. No, you don't live financially free just because you became an engineer or those things, accountant, those things that we value so much, or you work in a bank. It doesn't matter. It's a script. Somebody. And the rich people in this world, they don't compete like the poor. They live it with different terms. The very top people, they took risk. They created that financial freedom, and they live with that sense of purpose. They are not so much driven, doing everything to get money. They live their lives with that sense of purpose, but they don't leave the finances alongside. They don't leave it outside. They take charge of it, because if you don't take charge of your finances, somebody else will take charge of your life. Somebody else will take charge of your life, and that's what we see around. That's what we see around. And so beyond the social script, live what it takes in the long term to live your dreams financially and purposefully is you have to know that after 30, 40 years, it will not matter which degree, which profession, it will not matter which school you went to. What it will matter will be the script that you develop beyond the common. Because anybody living below the social script believes that once he goes to that school, he'll become great. Once he goes to this, he gets this profession, he will have financial freedom. It is not true. If you don't believe it, go and ask them. What is true is being equipped with better information to get your own financial freedom and to live life as you so much desire, to bring value and contribution, and to bring, some kind of purpose to society just because you are involved. Those are the things that make life live freedom. So you're not compressed, because you can meet people who have all these degrees and they're still finding themselves so much confused. Right? Because everything that they knew was coming from the academics. It's dangerous. And so parents are very happy today, they are going, and ADO has helped us with all this free education. It's good, it's fantastic. It will help them to overcome just the acute level of poverty but in the freedom, in that sense of purpose, that is not enough. It is not enough. You have to live beyond the social script, and you have to take that risk. So if you have a dream, take that risk. Take that business risk around that dream. If you can develop something, take that risk. That because that nothing pushes anybody into that freedom of purpose and freedom of finance than taking risk with an idea that you have and creating some economic value or bringing value to society with that idea. Nothing pushes anybody because it's so much joyful to see that idea come into reality, become a reality just because you thought of it. But if you are not doing that and you are just waiting for that script and follow it, you will not be free financially. Not that I see. And in terms of living life purposefully, because real freedom of life is when you live with that sense of purpose, knowing that you're making contribution. You're not just living to be paid salary and go to sleep, wake up, go to work. You don't like the work, but because of the salary, that's why you're doing it. And nobody is that free like that. Nobody is that free like that. And you can't say that, oh, me, I'm doing what I love, but I'm broke. There will be pressure because money has a lot to do with this life. So the two, if you find a way of solving them, you will live a free life. And you live with that sense of purpose, that sense of joy, that sense of peace. And you make a lot of contribution, become selfless. You live life with value. You are looking into the future. You're planning and you're strategizing. And you leave something for the children, for the next generation. Not just debt and difficulties. Not just debt and difficulties. So think beyond the social script. It takes a lot, but you have to take risk with that idea and never believe that somebody else is better. It doesn't matter. The way I see it, it doesn't matter. After a certain point, it doesn't really matter the level of education. It doesn't matter the profession. It doesn't matter where you even stay. What matters is that sense to solve these two things, the finances and to live with that sense of purpose. Those two make a lot of sense to me. A lot of sense to me. So thank you. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.